Sometimes you gotta be careful about who you bully. Meet Colton, a 16-year-old kid who took the FBI and police on an insane chase that lasted 3 years. But it all started because Colton had a problem. He was broke, and everyone knew it. He went to school, they said, Colton, he said, huh? They said, you broke, and everybody knows it. He said, nah, y'all, I'm broke because my mom, she be drinking, and we don't got money. They said, you broke and everybody knows it. Suddenly a kid named Harley stands up and says, hey, y'all leave Colton alone. He may be broke, he may be poor, he may not have the same drip as us. What was I saying? I said, you was telling us to leave him alone. He said, leave him alone. Now, Colton and Harley become friends because they find out that they both have bad home lives. But Harley has nice clothes. He be having drip. Colton doesn't have that. Harley's like, I be stealing. Colton's like, oh, snap, I'm trying to steal. So they start stealing. Now, after a few months, the FBI catches him on camera. So they bust down his mom's place and say where he at. She go, he left. He tried to pay for me to stop drinking. I said, no, he's in the forest now. So they go into the forest. They don't see him, but he sees them. He watches as they raid all of his stuff. It turns out he has a lot of stuff, so the FBI surrounds the forest. Colton writes a letter to his mom saying, girl, they're not finna catch me. They got him. Why? Well, because he was hiding out in empty houses, and where he was from, there are a lot of vacation homes. Meaning rich people would buy a house there and not be there for months. He leaves the lights on in one of these houses, but the owners reported that they weren't there, so the FBI brings him in. They said, he's a kid. A few months in juvie, then we'll send him to a corrections house. He breaks out of the corrections house, and here's where things start to get wicked. The whole town is losing it. Everyone's looking for this 16-year-old kid. Why? Because houses are getting busted and left and right. People start getting mad at the cops. They're saying, he's just a kid. Why can't y'all catch him? Vroom, 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 vroom. A car zooms past. It's Colton in a $100,000 Mercedes, basically daring police to catch him. They start chasing. The car suddenly goes kaboom into something. The police surround the car. They look into the car. No one's there. They look into the forest. Colton's there. Dips. And inside the car, they find this picture with the Mercedes logo on it. It's getting serious for police, but not Colton. He gets bored. He keeps going into houses and he keeps getting away. So then he decides to take a plane. Hops in a plane, reads the manual, and starts flying. Now, you may be asking yourself, how is this possible? Well, here's a note from a friend of mine who used to borrow cars. You won't believe how many people just leave the keys inside. Well, he learns how to do everything except land the thing. And actually, this is the wrong plane. This was the first plane he borrowed. The one I showed you was like the sixth one. Anyway, the police are like, what we finna do about Colton? An officer walks in and goes, Chief. He goes, hold on, we talking about Colton. He goes, Chief. He goes, what? He goes, I think I know where Colton is. The chief said, great, you finna get a promotion. The officer said, nah, I'm finna get a fire. Yeah, it turns out Colton went into my car, took everything, including my military grade. The chief said, are you stupid? Somebody else walks in and says, Chief, he says, what now? We just got a report. We think it's Colton. The first officer said, let's go. The chief said, nah.